Welcome back to the Talkin Chop podcast, brought to you by the folks at Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts making connections that matter. Joining us this week is Aaron Fulk, founder of Lily and James Creative and host of the Drinks with Leaders live LinkedIn show, as well with Scott Havens. Aaron, how's your week been going so far?
Well, I said it was Wednesday earlier. It's only Tuesday. That answers it.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm right there with you, getting caught up from a long weekend as well. But appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Well, the Chiefs won in dominant fashion in Las Vegas for the first time with a crowd out there, actually, 41-14. I mean, there's no sweeter victory than just completely demolishing the Raiders on national television.
Yes.
But we'll get into our takes from that game as well as our preview for this Cowboys game coming up, which should be also another great game, on Sunday. But first, we're bringing you our positions of the week, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts, where we're a recruiting firm in Brookside. Will bring you the best accounting and finance, admin, marketing, HR, operations, and sales talent that Kansas City has to offer. Lucas, what do we got?
So we have a new one. There's a private equity-backed outsourced accounting firm. I'm trying to think of what I can say, what I cannot say, that we recently, acquired as a new client, and they're looking for everything from the bookkeeper level of accountants all the way up to your CFO controller level. 100% work from home. They still go out and do team builders and happy hours and stuff once a month, but for the most part, I know that's a really appealing aspect to a lot of these new jobs that are on the market right now. So you need to be client-facing. You need to have a little bit of public and maybe corporate accounting mixed in there as well, but the personality is going to be huge on that one. So really unique, exclusive opportunity. Give me a shout if you're anywhere within that range of talent. And then as far as the sales and operations side, there's actually a Midwest sales manager position we just picked up. Doesn't have to be industry specific, so give Lisa Akery or even Abby a shout on that one. And this is still the craziest job market we've ever seen. So we have plenty of others that I don't have time to mention right now, but if you're interested in seeing what's out there, give us a call.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's our positions of the week, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC.
All right. Thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it. I know you've done a fair share of these before. So.
Not many sports ones. I've been on a few sports ones, I guess. I don't know why, but I'm going to do my best.
Well, good. Well, I know a lot of people know about your background, but for our viewers that maybe do not, do you mind giving us a brief look into yours?
Very few don't know.
The very few, exactly. Of your background and people who may not know you, what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Aaron Fulk, and I own Lily and James Creative, and we are a content marketing company right here on the plaza. We're just down the street. Right. So essentially started that 6 years ago. Kind of got into that because I was in sales forever, and I was using social media. So I'm going to do a sports thing here.
There we go.
I started my company because Nike came to me.
Okay.
When I was selling for a different agency, and I'd always been in my plan, I'd owned the URL for years, but Nike came to me, and essentially 2 men in a boardroom in LA, I know they're out of Portland, this brand happened to be out of LA, were talking about taking this 100-year-old brand digital, and my name came up out of 2 men's from them knowing my LinkedIn presence.
Nice.
And so they said, well, some random girl in Kansas City's coming up, let's call her.
Yeah.
And essentially that was what Steve Harvey calls your jump moment to go start your business. And
Wow.
so if you've ever worked with a company like Nike or Coke or anything like that, you do 6 months with no pay of figuring out if it's a good thing. They decided not to take the company digital. So it's still just a company that's only sold in Dick's Sporting Goods, a brand that's only sold in Dick's Sporting Goods. It's an old athlete, but it was a great way for me to be forced to finally do this.
Yeah.
And within 4 weeks, I was making more salary than I had the whole time I had ever worked, so it worked out well.
Wow.
There you
Should
go.
have done it earlier, maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we do have a recurring question we're asking this year. Casey likes to call us the conduits of culture. And we always find that focusing on culture fit leads to the best long-term placements, when we're recruiting for our clients. But in your experience hiring for and managing the team at Lily and James, what are your thoughts on culture? I know you guys went remote for a while. Walk us through that and what matters to you.
Yeah, so I think that this is a whole different answer than 2 years ago. So I used to answer it a lot and then kind of pulled back the past 2 years to figure out what that meant to us. So essentially, we used to have this big, fun office, all the things you think is an agency, right? And I could not get culture right. I'll just tell you guys really. I just had this hard understanding of I did not just want to be the boss. I wanted to be you're humans and I wanted to relate. And it was making it really hard for me to get culture right. And we would hire people. I love everyone I And I've worked with you to hire people because I love everyone I meet. So I want to hire everyone. And I was just hiring who was available and not doing it right. And culture was probably our hardest thing. Now it's one of the things we're the most proud of. We've actually gone to what happened about July of 2020. Everybody was exhausted. I was exhausted. Everybody on my team was exhausted. And I said, here's the deal. What can you guys give me Monday through Thursday? And they're like, what do we do Fridays? I said, we're just not going to work Fridays. Give me everything you got Monday through Thursday. Wow. We won't work Fridays. Then started getting those conversations, are we going back to the office? We ended up coming up kind of with a plan. We jump on a 9 a.m. meeting. Okay. Everybody has to show up at 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. That's about the only rule of something you have to show up. And then we talk through your workload for the day. But we're a completely virtual company now with studio space on the plaza for our clients. Sure. So there's a space for people to go and work if they want to, and some of my employees do. Yeah. But most of the time, we work virtually on that meeting, and then we do that 4 days a week, and then we have 3-day weekends, and everybody recharges. And so I thought, how am I going to do culture? And what's so funny is that meetings really become a time, like we have this set time to talk about workload for a little bit, but that only takes 10 minutes of our 30-minute meeting, and then people start talking through their stuff. Yeah. And the other thing we did is we actually decided to do 1 to 2 work trips a year together, where we go and do. So we did Virginia Beach in August. I think it was August, and so we got a big condo. Everybody stayed there. Still did all the HR rules. I stayed separately, but. Let people, like, we only worked during the day, and they had their nights to do whatever. There was an event, like we did an escape room together, right? Sure. But essentially, I have found in this virtual world, it's really allowed a lot of my introverts too, right? Because in creative, you have a lot of introverts to really lean into the culture because they've got this set time they know, and then we're not going to bother them the rest of the day. And it's going great for us. Awesome. I think in all these rooms I'm talking, people are like, how do you do it virtually? And I'm like, have you asked your employees what they want, your team members what they want? So for us, I just asked, and then we started working through that. And now we're at a point where when we do hire a 4-day work week, all virtual is pretty easy to get 100. I know it's a tough, but for us right now, we're getting a lot of resumes even without posting a job because people have got to see that, right?
Well, congratulations, that sounds awesome. And it really takes a good leader to kind of sit back and really get that type of feedback and put it into action. So congrats on that.
Yeah, paving the way, right? So hopefully a lot of other companies follow suit. We're seeing a lot of people change, with everything going on right now.
Take notes.
Virtual.
We actually got a trip next year.
There we go.
So, you guys are going on a trip?
We're going on a trip.
There you go.
I can't say too much more, but there's a trip coming. So
we're doing San Diego in March to one of our. So we're going to do one for a conference and then one for an annual. So we're doing my favorite. It's always been my dream to take everybody to my favorite conference, and so we're all in a social media marketing world. It's like so fun. So
Oh, that's neat. Well, I think you'll have some great answers then for these next little quick hitter segments. Yeah. First down will be a recent bit of success that's going to lead to more for you guys at Lily and James.
Right. So I think one of the things for us is that for Lily and James, we're pretty Kansas City focused, and I love Kansas City, but we were missing a lot of the pie, and so we randomly brought on a ton of Silicon Valley clients.
Wow, very cool.
And that was just due to actually some speaking opportunities we were able to jump on virtually, and we jumped on it so fast. People were trying to look and see, and they were like, "Wait a minute, I can hire a company in Kansas City and not have to pay Silicon Valley prices, but get Silicon Valley quality." So probably just. Kind of, we're open to a whole new world now, and we even have employees that don't live here anymore.
Nice.
So
that's a huge first down.
Yeah.
What about a sack? I know everybody doesn't like talking about it, but it could be a recent setback that you've overcome, become stronger from.
Well, I actually lost $1 million in 2019, so I barely had my company, and then going into the pandemic, it was going to be our this is our year, and we were actually headed to a conference to hit a Hail Mary and try to bring on all the clients, and then, as we all know, the pandemic happened. Right. I got very lucky that we got the PPP. But what ended up happening is I was able to sit back and I was able to have really uncomfortable conversations with some clients that had left us because they weren't happy and figure out why. And really, at the end of the day, it was a process and a communication problem. So we decided we still don't have a sales team. We don't do sales, but we leaned all in on our current clients, and then we grew. Awesome. A couple 100% over the past couple of years. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's huge. And then you started alluding to a Hail Mary there, but have you thought of one for this next year, right? Big goal you're working on in the next 12 months.
Yeah. So yes, I have, and I'm doing a whole thing of annual planning next week, so I'd have a better answer. But essentially, what we're really doing is I've now got these processes and this amazing team, and we're going to another structure where we'll have multiple teams, and I'll be able to focus on the business more. And the the big piece of that is really getting me. I know you guys say I'm everywhere, but I feel like I'm not putting out enough content. So me putting out more content, and so I'm starting out 2022 with a TED Talk.
Nice.
And so
There we
yeah,
go.
pretty
Very
exciting
neat.
stuff,
Yeah,
which will
good
hopefully help us get more clients.
That's huge. Well, I think that was a success for the quick hitter segment. That was perfect.
Definitely. I got one more question
Okay.
before we go into Talkin Chop, but talk to us about that Drinks with Leaders show that you
Yeah.
host with Scott Havens.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea? How'd you guys kind of get that started? And, what's your goal with it?
Right. So Scott is my buddy. He has been my buddy for a long time, but we are from two total different worlds, right? Like very, very different worlds. And so right when COVID started, the Business Journal, you were in it too, they said the top networkers. And so I called Scott. I'm like, we're in this thing about top networkers. And they called you in person. They called me online. They brought in some of our other friends. Let's invite those friends on and let's just do a show.
Yeah.
The thought process was nobody had LinkedIn Live at that time.
Right.
Very few people still have it. And
Sure.
I had LinkedIn Live. I'm very lucky to have a good relationship with LinkedIn and get in all their beta tests. So I had LinkedIn Live, and I was like, people are popping up shows, but they're not popping up on LinkedIn. Everybody's sitting on LinkedIn all day. Fun fact, LinkedIn's
Right.
had 200 million people join since the
Yeah.
pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
So I said to Scott, I go, let's call it Drinks with Leaders. Let's do happy hour. And first we called it Drinks with CEOs, and we changed that very quick after the
Yeah.
first show and called it Drinks with Leaders so we could have everybody on. I said, you invite a couple people on from your network. I'll invite a couple people on. They'll never know who else is coming on, and it'll be super organic. And my network is a little, I want to say a little grittier, a little more diverse. Scott's is a little more C-suite,
Yeah.
blue blood. So
Yep.
bringing those two networks together actually created magic. And I think we're getting close to 300. It's over 320 guests. I'm not sure how many shows, but we've had over 320 guests,
Wow.
and only
Massive.
2 guests
Yeah.
have been on twice.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd run out at 4. We honestly didn't think that it would be much. And then we got very lucky. Bank of Blue Valley came to us,
Yep.
and they wanted to sponsor it. So it's kind of turned into a whole
Yeah.
thing. And as we go into where we can have events, we're going to put an event strategy behind it and start
Cool.
having Drink with Leaders events.
There we
That's
go.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've just noticed, over the year or so that you guys have been doing it, or even more than that now. But like the production quality's just gotten so much better. You've got like the ads with Bank of Blue Valley. Like you guys are crushing it, and I love the
Well,
show.
when we started it was me. That was before my team members could come to my house and help me figure out how to do it. So now we've kind of got it all, and we got this virtual thing. But I was just trying to do it through StreamYard on my own, and it was.
And
a
is
mess.
Scott back?
Today will be his first
There we go.
show back.
Love it.
So he has
Wow.
been a little ill,
Yeah.
but today he is back, and I am
Love
so
to hear it.
excited because it's really hard to banter with yourself at this point.
Well, I'll definitely make sure I'm
Yeah.
tuning into that.
Yes, please do,
and
because
great work on that.
I'm so excited.
All right. Well, that does it for Talkin Shop. We'll jump into Talkin Chop here, kind of recapping the Raiders game. So, in the testament to Andy Reid, we always give our guests the first take of the game.
That's
right.
So, how do you think the Chiefs played on Sunday? Time's yours.
Well, so since I'm such a football girl, right? I think that the football stadium was gorgeous,
Oh, yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
if we're gonna win, it might as well be there.
True that.
We won,
Yep.
and so I watched the full game, and I feel like I might be the luck charm, right?
There you go.
Because I also went to the Monday night game, so I got to
Okay.
keep watching them.
Yep.
Okay.
But besides that, I liked Brittany Lynn's Instagram.
There we
her
go.
her red leather pants were great. Like I'm super good at
Ooh,
this. But more exciting, they won, and I don't know if you guys know that, but Mahomes this week called 15 nonprofits and gave them each between $15,000 to $20,000.
Awesome.
And,
I did not know that.
I can't say who the winners are, but some of them are clients. And so he's had a really good week in my eyes across
yeah.
the board.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
No,
our boy.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal takeaway. I mean, like you said, there was a dominant win. He's back to his usual self. Showtime Mahomes under the bright lights, 5 touchdowns, 400+ yards. It felt good to get that monkey off our back,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like
Oh, yeah.
everyone was, the talking heads were crushing us all across the board. They said, well, what's going on with Mahomes? Is it the baby? Are him and Brittany okay? And
Right.
he's like, no, I've never had a slump in my entire career. And
Yeah.
so I've gone the longest than any other NFL professional quarterback has without having a small bit of failure. And so he quickly showed that.
True.
But
he's
was it
going
really a
nowhere.
slump, or is he just so high level?
That's
Yeah.
right?
He
We
set
put
the
him on
bar
the
so
pedestal.
high. Yeah.
Right. You're just so high level that if anyone else was doing what he did the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, there's so many individual moments we could pick out, and we would be talking for hours. So I'll just say all 3 facets looked phenomenal,
Yep.
and I hope we can build on this, right?
Yeah. Aaron, you said you were the good luck charm. I might disagree with you there.
Okay.
It's Brian Schweitzer.
Schweitzer?
He brought the coat out to
I
Vegas.
saw it.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
saw his Instagram. So he's a good friend of the
It
show.
didn't
He was
show
on
up
a couple
here.
weeks back.
Code
Yeah.
didn't come here, but
Yeah,
we'll take
but
it.
he was out there. I was laughing at his Instagram.
He put it to bed. Did you see that on his Instagram? Where he
Yeah.
Schweitzer's been my buddy since you guys were in grade
Yeah.
school. We've been friends for
amazing.
about 20 years, and
Yeah.
he has not changed. He's
I'm
always been
sure.
like that.
I'm sure,
Schweitzer.
but yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there, Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's my good friend Kurt Jensen. He texted
Mm.
our group, and he was like, Tuesday morning, he goes, everything just feels right in the world. Chiefs are
right.
back. Going from last place to first place with just
Yep.
one game, just absolutely crushing Derek Carr and the Raiders. I mean, there were a couple balls he just threw up into no man's land. Good to see Dirty Dan get a pick after
right.
his rough first start of the season or
Yep.
first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time the Chiefs started out 6-4. 2019.
Super Bowl.
Wonder what happened that year. Yeah. So I think we're back on track.
Yeah.
So the Big Brothers Big Sisters Most Wanted Gala is coming up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was a virtual person for them last year, so I get to walk the stage this year.
Yeah.
So I was getting the text. They actually have a live package for the last Broncos game where you take a private plane to the Chiefs game for 8 people. And so I'm excited to see what that goes for now that
Yeah.
start calling your friends. How much you
I
in
mean,
for?
how that can we pull?
Hey, after this, let's figure it out.
Take out some equity in my company. Well, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess coming up, we got the Cowboys, and who are also one of the best teams in the league. On the NFC side of things, but I don't know if you're, in tune
When
with
I
the
was
Cowboys
24,
this year, but-
I went to every home Cowboys game.
Oh, there you go.
Because I lived in Dallas through my 20s, and when I was 24, my roommate bartended up in the suites. So he would, this is the old stadium, he would open up the back door, and we would just go in and go to every single Cowboys game and drink on other people's tabs, which is great when you're 24.
Oh, yeah.
And so Cowboys are my second love after the Chiefs.
There you
Okay.
go.
And they have really cute clothes for the Cowboys, for the women in
Oh, yeah,
Dallas.
the cheerleaders. Yep.
There you go. You think we're gonna win though, or do you
Oh,
think,
we're definitely going to
Okay.
win because all my friends live in Texas, so we have to win.
There you go.
I'm going to watch it, and good luck. So.
There you go.
I think the defense is stepping up at the exact
Right.
time that we need them to. I mean, Dallas has a phenomenal receiving core, three-headed dragon over there. So as long as we keep things, tight, nothing behind us, like we've been beat before in the past, and
Yeah.
show up in the run game, I think it'll be a good competitive game. Chiefs take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give some props to Brett Veach. You look at these 3 corners that we have;
Yes.
they're playing out of their mind.
Yes.
L'Jarius Sneed is all over the field making tackles.
Absolutely.
Rashad Fenton is actually Pro Football Focus is
Yep.
number 1 cornerback in the entire league.
Yep.
And then Charvarius Ward, I mean, he's just another great number
Studs.
3. Yeah, so I know Veach gets a lot of crap for some of these
Mm-hmm.
signings sometimes. Frank Clark is finally turning things around. Bringing Melvin Ingram in has obviously
Mm-hmm.
made a huge difference in getting Chris Jones into the middle. And our run defense has just been crushing it too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, hopefully we can continue firing on all 3 facets. I mean, that Tommy Townsend fake punt, that laser, he had a better quarterback rating than Derek Carr did. So love that. But it was just that complete game, Tucker, we were talking about that final complete game that we
Yes.
had, the first one of the year. So
We needed it.
hopefully we can keep that mojo going. He's back, baby.
Well, we
Back,
do
back.
some predictions. Do you have a score prediction for this game? Would you like to throw something out there?
Can you guys go first, and then I'll go third?
Yes,
Of course.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll let you take it away.
All right, perfect. So now that we're back in, that was the first game that we scored 40-plus points. So I'll stay high 30s. I'll say 38, and it's going to be a shootout with Dak Prescott behind the helm to 35.
Okay.
Win by a field goal.
There you go. Tucker?
I'm going to go 23-21 Chiefs.
23-21
battle,
Chiefs.
okay. All right.
I haven't checked the weather, but I don't think it's going to be very warm. I think I'm going to go 34-31 in a last-second field goal type of game or
it.
overtime. It's going to be close.
What do you win if you get this right?
Bragging rights.
Props.
27-21.
27-21?
Okay. Yeah, I like
Chiefs
that
or
too.
Cowboys?
Chiefs.
Okay, there we go.
And
Love
now
it.
we need to write that down, 27-21, because if you do, I'm going
'Cause
to
I
send
win.
her something.
Yeah, there we go. I'll make sure I get that recorded. But hopefully the Chiefs can keep the momentum going. I mean, at this point in last week's episode, we were all just like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. So it's good to get a little confidence back, as a Chiefs fan. Because
good for the city.
we carry it pretty well. But that does it for week 10 of Talkin Chop, brought to you by the folks at Chief of Staff KC. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe to us, our weekly episodes with some of Kansas City's top execs and personalities. Aaron, thanks again for being with
Thank
us.
you.
It's so
Thank
great
you
to catch catch
guys.
up, and congrats on all your success recently.
Appreciate it.
But we'll catch you all next week, and as always, go
Go
Chiefs.
Chiefs.